Welcome back to the Talos of Tech podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am between two ends, Nathan and Nick, and I appreciate Nathan for making the time. For those who don't know, Nathan was our editor back in the day. Probably the first videos a lot of you guys watched from Tailosive were edited by Nathan, but his talents were so good, he was so skilled in the editing sphere that other studios had to take him away from me. I just couldn't compete. So it's been a while since
might I
we've
say,
had you
Drew,
on,
the
but thanks for
videos have
coming.
not been the same.
They really haven't.
They've been better, if anything.
No,
Thanks for having me on, guys.
I haven't seen that comment.
When Drew says I went on to bigger and better things, it means I stopped editing professionally.
I went on to smaller and better things. I think.
Smaller and different things. Let's just say that.
Different, yeah. I can't say better or bigger, but I'm curious if you've still been in, since the last time we've had you on the show, have you been engaged much in the tech community, or have you been too busy to kind of see what's going on?
I was trying to remember the last time I had been on the show. I was trying to look it up and nothing came up either, so I don't think it ever happened. But no, I totally still have.
It was like a year ago, I think.
That's what I thought,
Okay,
and then I looked it up and I couldn't find anything, and then I didn't know what to search. So,
well,
I will.
Y'all fill the
that's
dead
what
air,
I
I'll find the
searched, and
episode.
nothing came up.
Really?
Nothing came up at all.
I could have swore I remember talking to you in this room at some point last year, but I guess that could have been 2019, huh?
It was not.
Jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't last year.
Wow. So we haven't had you on since pandemic.
Nope.
Has that been a struggle, or have you been good since then?
Since the pandemic, I mean, it's been a struggle for everyone. I'm trying to live my life and hopefully not kill anyone.
That's a good life motto to move forward with, I'd say.
Thank you.
But have you been keeping up with this whole Apple silicon
I have
transition?
opinions. We need to talk. The silicon transition.
Ooh.
I thought we were going to talk about the iMac already.
No,
the iMac.
that's dessert.
We got to start from the beginning.
Okay.
So Steve Jobs in
Nathan was
1998
with Mac,
came back to Apple.
and it was good.
For a second, when the spy guy pulled his mask off and it was Tim Cook, I thought it was going to be Steve Jobs.
I was
Can you imagine?
Like a deep fake of Steve Jobs.
I would have loved
a bad one over Tim Cook, and you can tell it was Tim Cook.
That would have been fantastic. I would have loved that. It also would have been very creepy, but that's why I would have loved it.
Oh yeah.
You're using a Mac. Are you using a Mac daily for work
yes.
still?
Oh god, yeah. I couldn't live without my Mac.
Okay, because when you first started editing for me, some people don't know this. You were still all in on your
Don't say the word.
built
Don't
PC.
say the word, Drew. Oh my gosh, you said it.
To be fair, the entire time I also had a MacBook. So let's just say that I've used both. And the PC was only because it was like the same price as my Mac. It was like $1,500. And I have like the base MacBook Pro, so like 13, But the PC was like 10 times better at editing because, it was
using
a custom
AMD or
built
Intel?
PC.
Because if it
Intel.
was, okay, well you're Intel, then I guess.
This was like 20, like it was. I feel like it was before all the AMD Ryzen stuff that I built mine.
I think it was
Back when Intel was hip.
Now we've got you back on the good side.
Yes, and I don't edit.
What's your
so that's the
daily rig?
difference.
You're not editing?
No, I don't edit. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I was not kidding when I said I moved on from editing. So what do I have? Let me go into my Apple logo. It's just a 13-inch base MacBook Pro from 2020. So I think it's the one right before the M1.
Oh no! I am so sorry, Nathan.
Or not? It wasn't right before. It wasn't right before. It was the one that happened before that. I was not burned by when the M1 came out.
Okay. I was worried you got it, like 15 days.
Oh my
before.
gosh! I would have gone
That
into that
is
Apple
the
store and
worst.
made them return it. I don't care. The one day I'm like, make an exception. But
is there a plan to transition to Apple Silicon in the near future for you, or are you just kind of like, I'm going to use this until it stops working?
So if at WWDC they come out with a new MacBook Pro they're going to have to change it from the M1 to something. If it's a MacBook Pro with anything other than an M1, I'm getting it. Like anything better.
So you want one step up.
Yes. The biggest reason, so I really thought about getting the M1 when it first came out. But the biggest thing that held me back was how you can only have 2 monitors at once.
I know.
Because
that bugged the heck out of me too.
Because what I normally use is I have 2 monitors and then I have it like closed, so I don't actually use it. But occasionally I would need to open it for something, and then would a monitor just not work? I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
So there are these hubs you can get that use DisplayLink, which you can have like 6 or 7 monitors. I'm actually using it right now.
Too much work.
And it works just
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's too much.
Okay.
But you like having the ports from either side too, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that. I only have 2 on one side. I got the base model. Okay.
So it's not an I/O thing. It's just the.
Do you have a dock, or how do you do your 2 monitors?
Yeah. I have like a USB to HDMI and then a USB to HDMI and like other USB and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think I thought that wasn't supposed to work.
You have a spaghetti of dongles, or do you have like a dock?
Oh yeah, but I got one of the IKEA desks, so it's all like shoved in the like compartment.
Ooh,
I like it.
It looks really nice.
Okay, so if they do announce M1X or something, are you more of like a 13-inch MacBook fan or 16-inch if possible?
I couldn't do the 16-inch, even though I take it nowhere. Like I'm at home all day. I work all day at home and I go nowhere. Yeah. But if I ever needed to, I don't want to carry around the 16-inch. So
you just carry around the 24-inch iMac, Nathan. It's super easy. The plug just magnetically disattaches and you can just carry the whole thing.
Yeah, it's got MagSafe.
That's true. It's portable.
Super easy.
But if there's an M1X, even if it still has the 2 monitor issue, I'm just going to get it and deal with it because I want something better.
And we haven't talked in a while. What iPhone are you rocking currently?
Oh, I have the 12 Pro Max.
Just regular?
Oh, Pro Max.
Okay. It's like, that is 3 different iPhones you just listed. I have the 12 Pro Max.
It's bad.
Like,
it's bad. Like my
you don't like
what am I got? No. I love it. I just mean naming and stuff. Like and naming is fine, but it's like when you're talking, I mean, you guys know when you're talking to normal people who don't, hang on every word of Apple. Like my sister's just got new iPhone 11s or something, and she was like, I got the 11 like Max, or like I had the 8 Max, and I'm like, no, you had the 8 Plus. She's like, no, I had the 8 Pro, and I'm like, no.
No.
I guarantee you did not have that.
I guarantee you. She's like, well, why is it Max now? And I'm like,
talk to Eddie Q. He's the one who did this to us.
It's kind of a curse, especially when you're in common situation and someone like disagrees with you on something that you know as a fact. It's the most frustrating thing because you're just like,
I know that
I'm
you're
right,
wrong.
But
I'm having a problem
like,
dumbing this down for you.
Because I used to sell iPhones. And so people would always be like, oh, so this is the new, like, iPhone 13 Plus Pro, whatever. And I'm like, no. This is the iPhone Pro Max.
I think last time I talked to you, you were on the upgrade program. Are you still planning on doing the once a year upgrade, or are you kind of settling where you are now?
I am no longer on the upgrade program. I now have bought the phone outright.
Wow.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you.
I will buy the next phone outright and I will sell this one. And I think that's what you guys told me to do.
Oh, wait. It was us?
I feel like it was.
Actually, I think Randy inspired Drew and me to inspire Nathan. So I think that all comes
because you guys you don't like the upgrade program, right?
No.
I've never been on it. I've always been buying it outright. So Randy doesn't get credit on that one. He gets credit on everything else but that one. Because I always bought outright when I could. I was never on the monthly thing. But I do remember you making that a point when last time you visited and we did podcasts, is you were like, I want the latest one every year, but you can get so much back just from how much iPhones hold their resale value anyway. So
and
I'm glad you made that switch.
I get my 3% when I buy it. And it's a good situation.
So you're on Apple Card?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep.
I'm out. Yeah.
I've had it since the day it came out, and it's great.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. I can't even say that. It came out when I was in the Philippines, so they didn't let me.
Snooze, you lose.
Did they give you a bad credit limit?
In the beginning? No, I think they actually gave me one of the better credit limits of my other cards.
Oh, good.
And then they keep raising it. They're like my card that keeps going higher. So
nice, because a friend of mine was just getting on it, and they had like an absurdly low credit limit.
Oh, I heard that.
I wonder if that was just a new people thing, because you said you got it on launch day, so maybe it's like if you got in early, they were like, "Here, have all the debt,
have all the money."
All the new people, they're like, "Oh, you got to go easy." Careful.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I didn't have a ton of cards at the time, so I'm not sure what it would have been like if I had a bunch, and then they gave me like $500.
Wow.
I can't even buy the AirPods Max.
I'm like 2% of 500. You can't buy it. They give you like 570, 350, like right enough to buy AirPods Max with tax.
Like with tax, yeah, just enough. Like you got the Pro Max, then didn't you prefer having somewhat smaller phones last time we chatted, or have you?
I think I always got the bigger ones.
Okay, I can't remember. I guess you were on the 10 last time.
Probably because I use it for everything, and I've always like wished I could use an iPad for some stuff, but I can't get myself to like pick up something else.
That thing is almost an iPad.
Do you have an iPad?
I mean, like I have like an iPad Mini 2 that is not used.
So no, you don't have an
basically
iPad.
Don't
so no, I don't have an iPad.
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
But did you like the squared off design with the 12 series, or?
I do. I did in the beginning. I really like it, but now I kind of see the old ones, and I'm like, oh, those look nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that department too. I hold up an older iPhone with the curved edges, and I'm like, this is kind of comfortable.
And it's smaller,
it's not, sharp.
Not in a bad way. Like I like the big phones. I like how big it felt. Like it felt huge in the beginning.
And me and Nick are both on the mini train now.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It's not weird. It's
You're weird.
Some people have mini iPhones.
Why get used to it? They're gonna get rid of it. They're gonna get rid of it. Don't even get
but
used to it. You're gonna have
while
to
it's here. I'm enjoying it while it's here.
Yeah.
I've gotten more disconnected from my phone. I'm not as dependent on it for survival, and it's beautiful and small and teeny, and definitely fits me as a human.
It feels like an iPhone 5.
Yes.
Brought into the future with Face ID and the full display, but it's about that footprint and it has that same chassis. But I'm going back to the Max iPhone this year just because I know the Mini's probably going to die off eventually. So
sadness.
It's sad but true.
Gotcha. What's going on with this year's iPhone? Anything interesting?
No.
120 hertz.
That'll be nice.
That's it. Literally nothing else.
5G.
What's
5G?
What's going to be the new color? Put in your bets now.
Ooh.
Well, we got Thanos purple. I've been waiting for Thanos purple for a long time. I was so shocked when they announced that.
That's Steve Jobs' favorite, right?
You have to say like the new Thanos purple, like not original Thanos purple. Original Thanos purple was like deep purple.
New Thanos. Yeah.
It's Thanos after the snap. His skin's a little less purpley.
It's a little lighter.
I think they have paint issues with stainless steel iPhones. That's why they can't do as saturated as colors. That's why they always do kind of like muted colors. So I'm gonna guess
because I do have the
blue,
the green one.
Ooh.
Or the blue one. Wait,
blue?
No, it's the blue. The green was the 11.
Blue.
Like, what is this? I think this year we'll get like a deep purple. Like it'll still be purple, but it'll be like you can hardly tell it's purple in certain lighting.
Original Thanos purple.
Yes, more original Thanos. I still, ever since iPhone 10 came out, I've wanted a product red steel iPhone. But
yes,
I think I've read that it's very, very difficult for them to get steel that shade of color without making it super fragile, like it scratches all the time. So I think that's probably not going to happen as much as I want it to. I just want like a red or like I think I remember showing Nick like the Iron Man colors. It's like gold steel with red glass. It's really on the subject of Avengers. Iron Man phone. Something with red and gold I wouldn't mind at all. But if not, then yeah, I'll probably just go with a basic gray or silver, something neutral.
I'm a silver guy.
What do you think, Nick?
So they better bring silver back again this year. Obviously it's still here, but they don't have it on the minis, which I was really upset about. I had just the white.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to cover up
You
this
want a
beautiful
steel
design
mini.
with this ugly leather case because I cannot stand touching aluminum. It is just.
I feel like you like the mini, but then you just have all these issues with it.
I do.
solved.
Thank you, Nathan. The phone is the perfect
mini, but
size.
I also hate it.
Like this is an amazing sized phone. I don't feel too connected with it, but yet it's still a big enough display where I can do everything. But the
It
sides
looks tiny.
are dumb aluminum. I really want the nice glossy stainless steel silver. I had the 12
Look at it.
Pro in stainless silver. I know.
Look at it.
Must be nice. You see that mirror finish? I don't clean this.
Yeah, I know.
I don't-
This is so matte. I'm so sad. Also, I need to remove 5G.
I'm the opposite. I love the
because-
aluminum. I hate the steel.
I like the steel.
I'm sorry, Drew.
It's too fingerprinty. I hate how I had to choose between, do I want fingerprints on the back or the side? Like, can't I just have a frosted glass and aluminum, like no fingerprints? And aluminum's lighter, so you could have a lighter phone if it was that big, but oh well. It's a losing battle. The 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max sold incredibly well, so Apple's probably just going to keep running with that.
Probably.
So
Do you use MagSafe?
How? Oh, this?
How? With the MagSafe
Drop the little.
cable?
Yes,
the
I have one.
lollipop.
Yeah,
The
yeah. I
lollipop.
thought you were talking about the. I love these. I have 2 of these. I have one at my
Oh, you
desk
do?
and one by my bed. I use it and I charge
too.
my AirPods, and it's the best.
Yes.
I love
okay,
it.
cool.
And then I
I'm
have
glad
this
we're on
thing.
the same page.
Because then, like, if you're in bed or something, you can, like, if
Uh-huh.
you're tired, you can, like, and you're looking at your phone, you can, like, have it, like,
Uh-huh.
sitting on your bed like this, and then you're not, like, bending the cable.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You
Yep.
can't do that with lightning.
I have it down to a
That wouldn't work.
science.
It's down to a science. Sorry, what were you going to say, Nick, before I so rudely interrupted you?
I don't remember, and now this is an awkward
okay.
conversation point.
Okay.
AirTags. Sorry,
You
sorry.
said you had
Nathan,
opinions.
have you seen AirTags? Have you got?
Oh my god,
AirTags?
I have an AirTag. I have an AirTag. It's in
You
the other
do?
room though. Do you want me to go? Do you want me to track
Get
it
it!
down? No,
Get it!
It's
I
on my
want to
keys.
use your phone to find that AirTag, Nathan.
Mine has.
I-
Wait, did you get anything on yours? Wait, I have the same holder, Drew.
Ooh,
You got the
I
Belkin one?
I was like, hell no, I'm getting a Apple $25 loop thing that costs the same amount as the AirTag.
Well, I did see a video that says you can drill a hole in an AirTag.
Ooh.
There's like an optimum spot where it won't interfere with anything.
I'm not drilling
the
a hole in my
waterproofing.
$29 AirTag. Gotta keep bringing up the price.
That price point doesn't help the argument, though. It makes it sound so cheap.
Yeah.
it
What is?
sounds
It's a
like you
very
should.
expensive accessory.
Did you get anything on yours?
On mine?
Yeah,
continue.
she can get the thing on it. You know, like the emoji or the letters.
Oh, no. I'm returning mine, so I didn't
Oh.
engrave it or anything.
You can still engrave it, return it.
Oh, you can? What do they do with those? Are they like waiting for someone else to order that exact?
They're like, no one else is gonna order Drew's initials on an AirTag.
Well, he put ASS. Let's wait for someone. No, that's probably high in demand. I bet a lot of people.
Yeah.
would order that.
I don't think it's like license plates. I think anyone can get. I think you
I
can
put
get
my
duplicates.
initials.
That's into it.
ALE. Ale.
Ale.
I got a little. I
So-
got the little pig emoji on mine.
Ooh,
A pig?
that's kind of funny.
Oh, like
A little-
imposter pig? Or
Yeah,
poster pig?
something like
Oh,
that.
that's funny.
That's
like
that's an amazing.
Why aren't you
callback.
gonna
I
keep
remember.
it? It's $29. He can help you find
literally-
your keys.
I love the device. I think it's probably the coolest thing Apple has done in a long, long time. In fact, it's probably up there for me as like best Apple product of the year, especially based on these new iMacs. I'm like, yeah, this is this is probably the best Apple product of 2021. I love it, but I never lose anything.
Yeah.
Like my keys are always in the same place.
It's true.
And I know for a fact I'm going to leave it on my keys, and I'll think it's really cool for a couple of months, and then I'll get used to having it, and then I'll forget about it. And then when the battery dies, I'm not going to go through the energy of replacing the battery, and it'll just be this little weight on my keys that doesn't do anything. I know this because I've done this with geo-trackers in the past. I got them for my keys, and then I never changed the battery on them. So I was like,
Yeah.
I've never used that anyway. So I would rather spend $29 towards literally anything else, any other Apple product. I don't care what it is, but I know I'm gonna forget about it later.
I'm probably in the same place, but I've accepted it, and I've accepted that I will not have my $29 and that I should just keep it.
You're in that level of acceptance.
Yes, it's on my keys right now. I never lose my keys. It's a giant yellow lanyard on it. It's like a flag anywhere it is.
We have a lanyard too. It's pretty hard to miss. The last time I lost my keys was probably 2018, and I found them like a couple hours later anyway. So I was like,
if you had an AirTag,
too bad
you could have saved you a couple in 2018.
Yeah, they are cool though. I do think that this market is perfect for Apple to enter. Like that whole setup process is so simple. Like you literally just take it out of the packaging and the pop-up shows up on your phone. I was like, I can't imagine a more seamless setup process. Like, Nick, you got a tile to compare to, didn't you?
Yeah, so I'm definitely sending the tile back. This thing is ugly. It's cheap. It feels plasticky. And number one problem, they lie on their packaging. Their packaging says, "Welcome to the world's largest lost and found community." I'm sorry, Tile. You are no longer the largest lost and found community. Because AirTags.
I don't know if they can. That's true. Just watching you did a live stream unboxing the tile and stuff, and just the sound the tile made.
Oh, totally.
I was like,
listen to the difference. It's like this very 80s, like, where like the AirTags is like a full speaker. This is like a little 12-bit speaker. And now it's beeping and I can't turn it off. Right,
and that doesn't have the
I don't know.
That doesn't have
anything. It's just
ultra
Bluetooth.
wideband.
I think it's just a Bluetooth, regular Bluetooth. But
how much was it?
It was $27.02 after tax.
Best Buy. 27.
So
yes.
So it's not even that much cheaper.
No. And it's terrible. The app is ugly. I had to create a dumb username and password for my key. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
It feels so like Apple does plastic right. Like any device that says plastic from Apple is beautiful, right? Like you never get the Apple Pencil feels right. The iPhone 5C felt right. The AirPods feel right. It's like this nice, dense, smooth plastic that is
I forget
pleasant
the pencil is plastic, to be honest.
I know, right? It doesn't. It feels like ceramic or something. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Apple did that again with AirTags here. Like this is like very AirPods-ish plastic. And this tile
like
thing
glass, almost.
is like this hollow, matte plastic that it just feels like a McDonald's toy. Like it's cheap and like ugly. And this is seamless and made out of premium materials.
Tile.
It's beautiful. Tile gets
and to be fair,
0 out of 10.
A lot of the advantages of the AirTag are things that Tile can't do themselves. Like they can't have the pop-up. They can't have the no account thing.
Should have made a tile phone.
In the Find My network?
Would have fixed it.
A tile phone.
Did a tile phone. It's not Apple's fault. They didn't do that.
There's competition.
Did either of you catch MKBHD's video about the paradox of choice?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You both did. How did you feel on that? Because I'm like, I understand what people are saying of like Apple leverages their ecosystem and can make products that like third parties can't compete with, but I wish you could have gone more into the different perspective on that subject, because I'm trying to figure out like, well, what's the alternative? Should Apple just like not integrate features or not come out with hardware that someone else already has just because they would compete with each other? Like, to me, if you can make a better product for the consumer that will be easier for them to use and will be more effective, then it's a win. Even if it results in third parties or the competition being stifled, if the product is better, the market will speak for that. But I was curious of your guys' thoughts.
I think Apple was in a really, really tough position with AirTags, which might have been the reason why they waited so long. Right? We've had leaks about AirTags since like 2019 or 2018 or something crazy like that.
I think it was 19.
19, yeah. Like there's code and stuff for this. So and
last time Nathan was on the show,
we were still talking about AirTags.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was like a physical design or manufacturing issue that was holding up AirTags. I think it was Apple trying to think through how to do AirTags the best way. And MKBHD is totally right. Like they basically killed Tile. Like 3 weeks ago, I would have been like, yeah, if you're prone to losing your keys, get a Tile. You know, it's fine, whatever. Like it works. It
no
does
one had
its
anything
job.
against Tile.
Yeah, it's like it does its job. But the AirTag is so much more than just a widget that does something. This is a piece of the ecosystem. And when Apple approached this, I think it was really smart that they made Find My kind of more open source, allowing companies to come in and do other stuff, because that shows that they're not trying to be anti-competitive about it, but they are being anti-competitive about it, right? Like
but they also don't want to lose, so they've set themselves up in a way that they can't lose.
Exactly. You know? So it's like they had a really tough decision, and I guarantee you this is why AirTags took so long to come out, because you know there's the safety features and all the thought process that went into that, but there's also like the market. Like there are legitimate companies, like I don't know what Tile's net worth is or whatever, or what their market cap is, but there are companies, people depend on Tile for their jobs, and they knew as soon as they launched AirTags, nothing else would come close. Just like back with AirPods, I mean AirTags and AirPods are very similar in the way that they're being approached to market. There were plenty of pretty much wireless Bluetooth headphones. Now they were terrible because you had to have each bud paired individually to the case, and then the case got paired to the phone, and sometimes there was a lag, and it's kind of like what the Tile is. Like if you wanted truly wireless earbuds back in the day, you got the Sony long number of letters plus numbers mixed inside of it headphones to do your wireless headphones. But then Apple came out with the original AirPods, and they smoked it, right? No one was getting those headphones anymore because it was so much simpler. Now, then Apple came out with their Beats line, and other companies have figured out good Bluetooth pairing. So it has gotten better. But for a solid 2 years there, if you wanted a fully wireless pair of headphones, your only option was AirPods, unless you were like willing to sacrifice on usability. And it wasn't until Samsung made their beans, and they have some. There are other options now, right? And so I kind of think it's going to be the same. Like AirTags came out, it's going to destroy Tile unless Tile majorly pivots and steps up their game. Do
you think they should make a Find My
100%
compatible?
They should 100% join. Like as I think that's Marquez's big thesis, right? Like
do that and then be cheaper. Probably it's their only option at this point.
Yeah. Like if this was $10, I'd be like, okay, $30, $10. I see the price difference here.
Just be like, it does everything that the AirTag does, but it's $10 and it has a thing built in.
It's cheaper than a case for AirTags. That's the
I don't
know if that is possible.
I was gonna bring up the AirPods though, because it feels like a similar situation when they announced AirPods, but just there's only like one competitor to AirTags, so it feels more direct, but it's kind of the same thing in some ways.
Because I personally don't think the solution to a lot of these, like, obviously when you make a third-party app store or you make a platform that different businesses can build their whole existence on, they're going to come up with anything and everything you can imagine. Like he mentioned in his video Duet Display. I was a Duet Display.
Oh yeah, I remember Duet Display.
I bought that for $20 way back when, and when they came out with Sidecar, my reaction was still, okay, perfect. Now I don't have to deal with an app. Now I don't have to download it. It's literally just built into the native software. I don't think just because that kind of kills a lot of the third-party market, Apple should just not do it, or whether it be True Tone or Night Shift. It's like if Apple decides that we can't come out with features that third parties have already developed a platform for or built their existence on, then they can't do anything. Like between jailbreaks and third-party plugins for Mac and stuff, like everyone's thought of almost everything. So if they just decided that, oh no, we're not going to introduce features that aren't 100% ours and original, then like they would completely run out of ideas. So yeah, they're absolutely going to implement things first party that used to be third party, and if that results in a better experience and that results in a better product overall for the end consumer, I do still think it's worth it. But I guess, in my opinion, I just see that as this is the danger you have when you're in the business world and you build kind of your whole company around a feature that is very replicatable. Like they talk about that on Shark Tank a lot. Is like, okay, this is a great idea, but
what's to stop me from $1 million coming in and doing the exact same thing, but better?
I can come in and do the same thing. And Kevin O'Leary was on that show at one point saying, like, if your competition is drowning, then you're supposed to stick a hose in their mouth. You know, like in the business world, there's no like charity. There's no like, let's live and let live. It's like, no, I'm going to be better and I'm going to win. And Apple can't really do that now because
I would argue Apple did the opposite. They threw a rope to the drowning competition. Like, hey, join our Find My network.
The drowning competition.
You know,
they're like, we are really going to hurt you. So here you go. And we know we're going to hurt you. So I agree. Kind of opening it up to third parties was probably the smartest way they could have gone about it. And
there's also the timing, though.
If you can't beat them.
Like, they did that first. Like, I think that's really going to speak volumes whenever Tim's brought up in front of Congress on some anti-competitive charges that Tile's going to sue.
Yep.
You know, Tim's going to be able to say, hey, 1 month before we even announced AirTags to the public, no one knew it existed. We announced this third-party platform where other companies can... We have bicycles and Chipotle and, you know, so much.
You can track down your Chipotle.
I actually want this, please.
It's called Maps.
It's called It's called DoorDash. Yeah. I think I mean, they were somewhat smart to not have a little keychain attachment for AirTags.
Oh, dude.
So that lets the competitors have a bit of a leg up. Like the Tile has a little hole on it that you can attach.
True.
Like,
and Tile is a bit thinner, so you can put them in your wallet. I've been seeing a lot of people
comment
on the wallet.
I would like one to put in my wallet.
Actually,
some way. That would be nice.
The Tile, what do I have? The Tile Mate is just about the same thickness as the AirPod. AirTag.
Didn't MKBHD call them AirPods like a few times in his video? I got really annoyed. He did like the first 2 or 3 times. He straight up says AirPod, and I'm like,
it feels like an AirPod though. Like, you have the beautiful.
It is kind of a pod. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't play music though. Well, technically,
it could. You know, I'm sure there's going to be some guy who's going to figure out how to hack iOS to get it to play a song.
Oh my gosh.
But the way
the HomePod Mini.
Mini.
HomePod Dot, just like Amazon Dot. HomePod Dot. Just stick a speaker on your fridge. But
right.
I think the way that this was designed is makes it feel even thinner. Now, I haven't gotten my case yet. I'm still waiting on FedEx to deliver my keychain case.
Come on,
it's supposed to be
weird.
there Friday. I went to the FedEx store this morning because it says at whatever shipping location because it got messed up and it's not going to get here till Monday, unfortunately, because it's stuck at the airport.
He drove to FedEx to
I know.
get a keychain.
I wanted this, right?
You're like, where is my AirTag keychain? They're like, sir, get out of the store.
Well, okay, the lady in front of me in line was looking for her daughter's prom dress and her prom is tonight, and so I was like, yeah, okay, I don't need my AirTag keychain.
Step aside.
Go find that lady's prom dress, please.
Priorities.
Yeah, but I think it was so smart that Apple made it feel so thin. Like, I lost it this morning. I lost my AirTag.
Did you find it? How was that experience?
It was really weird. So just like Drew's video, he put his AirTag in his pocket. And I had my AirTag in my pocket, unbeknownst to me. And I was like, oh, I'm heading out the door. I'm like, oh, I want my AirTag in case I can pick up the keyring. I'm like, where is it? I'm shuffling around on my desk. And I'm like, duh. I pull out my phone. And I'm like, all right, 2 feet, 2 feet. It still says 2 feet. Oh, this thing's not working. 2 feet. Where is it? And then I start playing the sound. I'm like, I hear it. Where is it? I'm not seeing it. And then I was like, oh, it's in my pocket. This is so dumb.
Couldn't you do the sound thing?
I did, but it sounded like, I don't know, it was coming from somewhere. I couldn't tell where it was coming from.
Is it just me, or are all the sounds that Apple uses for Find My like awful? And I feel like no matter what it is, it makes it sound like it's coming from everywhere.
Yes, I would
like,
agree with that.
The AirPod, especially, like, I don't know if it changed, but the old Find My iPhone, I remember it would go like bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, is it in front of me? Is it, you know, in my friend's house? Is it in my car? I can't tell. It sounds like it's, you can't. It doesn't sound like anything.
Yeah, it kind of does have like this
like they
echoey
sound
effect, huh? Yeah.
To me, they sound better than the tile, but
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, they do sound like they come from every direction.
Somehow. I want like Siri to be like, "I'm over here."
I'm over. Is the speaker even good enough to do that, or is it like? It
sounds really good, I think, but I don't know from like other stuff beyond this, but it surprised me.
And like inside of it,
I was shocked how loud it was.
Most of it is a speaker. Like at that of the battery, really? Like the next biggest component is the speaker, and like the little logic board is just a ring around the edge with the speaker in the middle. And it's like that's a pretty big speaker. Like it's probably a little bit bigger than an AirPods driver. Like all things considered, super thin, super small. Like it's a big speaker. And I don't know how big the Tiles is, but it looks like it's just one of those like 80s like vibrating pan one that does like 8 tones or whatever. And obviously
8 tone.
I don't know how many 8-bit tones. I don't know what that's called, but it's cheap. All that to say.
You know what we need to talk about though, Drew, because I think you have, I don't know if you have an updated opinion, but I think you had the controversial opinion about the battery and wanting it to charge. But then, because I think I saw your video first where you were complaining about it, and I didn't get that from the keynote. I was like half watching it. And so I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then everyone else was like, go Apple. They put in a user replaceable battery. And then I didn't know what to think. So do you have it up to...
You're split?
Well, I feel like I agree with everyone else, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have a little lightning port on it.
No, I wouldn't have preferred that, for the record. I think the reason everybody else is fine with this is because there's this universal agreement that everyone seems to have that if it's a rechargeable battery, that means the battery has to be bad. And I didn't believe those went hand in hand. Like, people were saying, well, if you add the Qi coils of the Apple Watch, it makes it thicker and it makes it more... I would argue that making something that you have to push down and screw adds to the overall thickness. Nick, you're more of a teardown guy than I am. I don't know, but...
I made one video, Drew. Jeez, come on.
Nick is gracing us with his presence today. The Qi coil within AirPods and within the Apple Watch itself is not very thick. It does not take up a ton of space from what I've seen. And making something that you have to push down and screw also adds to thickness. And because it's still Bluetooth low energy and it's still like this super low power consuming tag, as long as it would still last like 6 months on a charge to me, I wouldn't mind dropping it on a charger I already have, because I don't want to have to go to the store and pick up 2032 batteries. And like Nick showed in his video, it's like the perfect size for it. It
even
looks like
magnetic.
It was built.
Like, I don't know if they planned that, but like the thing is magnetic, and the radius of the stainless steel ring is the same radius as the Apple Watch charger. And I'm like, this feels like it should be charging right now.
So you want it to charge on the Apple Watch charger, or you want to charge it on just Qi?
Either or. I'm kind of cool with rechargeable of some kind. For the same reason I'm okay with a rechargeable Magic Mouse. Like, for many, many years, these used to require AA's.
Oh, yeah,
and it was the most annoying thing in the world whenever I would be editing or working. Like, at the end of the day, it would be like battery low, and the mouse would stop working, and then I would have to go find some AA's. And instead of just pick up a nearby lightning cable and plug it in, which it's stupid on the Magic Mouse, but I don't have to go find some batteries. And oftentimes I would be in a situation where I'm like, oh, we're out of AA's. I got to go to the store, pick some up. And I know that 2032s are very cheap. Everyone's told me how cheap they are and sent me a million links. I understand they're cheap. It's not about the price. It's about the errand. It's about having to go find one. It's like, oh, I got to check the junk drawer and find it's in the back here. And I got to go to the store if I don't have any 2032s, or I got to order one, wait for it to get here, take it out of the box, install. Instead of just, I use my Apple Watch charger pretty much every night. If every 6 months or so my AirTag was like, doo-doo, I have a low battery, and I could just drop it, and then for an hour it charges up, and then I take it off, and it's good for another 6 months. I would prefer that, but I still agree that Apple probably made the right call, because most people don't have Apple Watch chargers, and because of that, Apple would either have to not ship it with the charger and then tell people to go buy one, which everyone would hate and be annoyed by, or they would have to ship Apple Watch charge cables with each AirTag, which would be a bigger bottle. Like, you could not fit that in a box like this. Although the box this came in was enormous anyway.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Really...
Biggest
it was so big
ever. It was like
feels very bad.
Apple,
it's like a joke at this point, them like taping down the box inside like a giant box, you know?
Yeah, like,
that
Apple,
piece of cardboard.
you don't give me a charger with my new $1,000 iPhone on terms of shipping waste.
To ship in a smaller box.
And then I'm like, Apple, you put this little itsy bitsy tag in like the world's largest box. It's like, are you
That's
Amazon?
Exactly how my box
I didn't think
looks.
so.
It's all the cardboard from the cables they didn't ship. They were like, wait, what do we do with this?
They saved all the packaging and used it for the AirTag box.
They were like, they knew they were going to send out AirTags, and they like made the box too small, and they were like, oh no, we need to ship the iPhone without a cable so we can have extra boxes.
And the Belkin keychain accessory came in a box just as big.
Just as big. I was like, why aren't they in the same box? They came like an hour apart from me.
I ordered them at the same time. I put them both in my bag and hit checkout, and they still ship them in these two separate giant boxes. And I'm like, just slide it in an envelope, you know?
Right. This
could
is like
easily
perfect
fit.
envelope material.
That's
like those
true.
bubble foam small envelopes that FedEx does or whatever. Like, this would be the perfect size.
With Apple level of innovation, with how the AirTag was just kind of embedded in the paperwork, they could embed the little instructions that say like AirTag and here's how you set it up, and the AirTag's like in the middle. They could slip all of that paperwork in an envelope and just mail it to you like you got a letter from Apple.
Yeah.
You just open it and then AirTag's inside. That would be
like
so much better.
The credit card, the Apple Card, when you got the Apple Card, that came in a slim package, didn't it? And it was like this little cardboard folding out thing,
what
right?
was that? I remember the internal thing where it like opens up and it's an NFC connected. I don't remember that exterior package though. Was it a box?
Was it a little bubble? I feel like it was a bubble envelope. Yeah, let's mark it as lost.
Bubble.
Get a new
That's
one.
what it was.
So question for you guys.
Oh my gosh, they put AirTags in the. I was just gonna, because I said you mark it as lost, so you get a new one, and then they put AirTags in the Apple Card.
Yeah, that's
it's like
there you go.
It's just like embedded though, like it's not any thinner. It's just like a full.
Should they make like a slightly thicker Apple Card that you have to pay $39 for, and
you
then
can find your wallet.
Find your wallet, exactly.
You don't need to put an actual AirTag in your wallet. Not only can you find your card, you can find your wallet. I'm for
That's
it.
smart, actually.
I want like a brick that like breaks everything I tried to slide it through because it's so thick. Because the AirTag.
I've had that problem a couple times. Some of those card readers don't have any tolerance. I'm like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Chip it is.
A lot of people were also saying a rechargeable AirTag, the battery would degrade and eventually get worse.
Oh my gosh.
And
everyone worried about the battery. Okay, stopping the show for a moment, rant time. Everyone worried about battery degradation on Teslas, on smartphones, on iPads. Stop!
It's a real thing.
Why are you so concerned about a dumb percentage, which is completely arbitrary, by the way, because the system is just
it rarely
guessing
hits zero.
what its full capacity could be, and you're losing like 20% over 4 years. My mom has an iPhone 7 that she goes from 0 to 100 like every day. She's at like 76% or something, and she could not care less. I'm like, why is everyone on the air? I tried to sell my iPad the other day, actually I did, and all of the comments below, because I didn't take a picture of the battery health thing.
It's like battery health. What's the battery health percentage? Let me check my battery health percentage. Actually.
iPads don't have that feature.
It is fine. Jeez. Sorry, rant
it's
over.
Fine. Well, I agree with you that a lot of people...
99%. God, I gotta get a new one.
I'm sure I'm around 99. I haven't checked in ages, but now I'm going to check. Dang it, you're going to make me check.
No wonder the battery life is so bad.
97.
Nick, that's
so bad.
My phone is useless. I must yeet it at the wall now.
Like, I understand rechargeables will have degradation, but I feel like people are forgetting that if you had like a 6-month or really long battery life, the cycles would be fairly low.
Okay, but Drew, they can't be like, buy your $29 AirTag, buy a $25 thing, and then buy a $40 Apple Watch charger so you can charge it.
I will agree it's nice that they don't do that, but I disagree that they can't do that because this is Apple and they do this all the time. They're like, buy this MacBook and then buy this adapter and then buy this iPhone and then buy this charge brick. And then, there's all kinds of stuff they sell that then they upsell you on other stuff. Like buy this iPad, but also get this keyboard case that's $400. Like that's totally an Apple thing for them to, sell $500 AirTag accessories.
They don't even offer you just that charger. They're like, buy an Apple Watch so you can also use the charger.
They take away
buy the Apple Watch SE and AirTags. Oh no, Apple Watch SE is listed as an accessory for AirTags on the website.
Yes, is it actually? Or that's what I'm saying.
A lot of people saying a lot of people on Twitter were like, are AirTag people really not Apple Watch owners though? Let's be real here. If you're the person to buy an AirTag, aren't you kind of an Apple Watch person?
I don't have an Apple Watch anymore. So I got no Apple Watch charger.
5 weeks ago.
No, I know.
You had an Apple Watch at one point. What happened to that?
I stopped wearing it, so I sold it.
Yeah.
You sold it, and okay. So
and then I probably bought another one. I think I've probably owned like at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 Apple Watches since we've talked. I kept buying them and then selling them, and I'm on my selling them train, so I don't have one right now.
2 or 3.
Which
ones did you try?
Let me see. Which one do you remember which one was out? Was it like the 3 or something? Was it like, I feel like it was because cellular. I feel like it was a whole big thing around that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've had like every single one. What's out right now? Is it 5 or 6?
6-ish.
Okay, I don't think I had 6. I had 4, and then I had 5, and then I think I bought like a 3 for like $179 on like a sale from Best Buy or something.
Oh wow. So you love buying Apple Watches.
Yes.
You just don't like owning
them. Yes. Well, see, because
he's an investor. So he stonks some money.
Exactly.
I was gonna say Apple Watches hold their value as good as Nikola stock.
They really do. Oh wait, are you kidding? I don't know.
As in, like, Apple Watch resale value goes down pretty quick, in my experience.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
So you would be the market of like, I want an AirTag, but not a.
Yeah, I can't.
Apple
I'm not gonna buy an Apple Watch charger just to charge my AirTag.
But what if you had to?
I think they made the right call. I agree. Like, there's so many people that seem to have liked this decision that if Apple wants to make a product that people like, which I think is, that's kind of important, then they made the right call. They were like, this is what most people would prefer, so let's do that.
If they could have done both, great, but yeah.
I wouldn't be against an option. Buy a upgradable, swappable battery if you want, and if you want a rechargeable one that might have 70% of the battery capacity, or might be 50% degraded in 7 years, but I didn't have to go get 2032 batteries. Yeah, I'll take that one. It's like degradation on a half-year-long battery isn't that substantial. It's like, oh no, instead of lasting 6 months, now it lasts 4 months. It's like, it's not unusable at that point. But
the crazy thing is, when I watched your video, Drew, and you said, like, you were starting to say it and you were like, it's not rechargeable, and my first thought was, oh, okay, it lasts for a year, it dies, and it's done, you have to go buy a new one. Okay, that kind of sucks, but like, I guess it's Apple, we're gonna have to do it. And then you were like, no, but you can change the battery. I was like, what?
It's so cheap. I wouldn't be shocked if people just decide to buy one.
The Tile does that too, right?
The Tile has a replaceable, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they have their slim one, which is the size of a credit card, is not replaceable. So you do have to buy a new one.
Oh.
But I really wish I didn't know all this about Tile, for the record. I wish I didn't know that, but I do.
Now you're a Tile expert, Nick.
I
wonder what kind of I wonder what kind of surge in sales Tile got after AirTags came out, just from reviewers wanting to compare the two. They're like, everyone's suddenly very interested in Tile, but they hate us at the same time.
Yep.
What's going on?
Hi, Tile.
I feel bad for them, though. Like, they started that whole company and got it all built out.
To be fair,
Apple's just like...
Was it like 1 or 2 years that everyone pretty much knew Apple was going to release something and they didn't try to do anything else? Maybe they are. I don't know. I have no idea what Tile's doing, but...
They went to the government.
Well, I mean, I meant diversify their product lines, but yes, the government also can maybe help them out.
They can do a services tactic and just make it tile plus.
Tile subscription.
They have it.
$10 a month.
It was $100 a year. $100 a year. Okay.
What's it do?
I set up the tile. And I got the dumb app. I had to create a stupid account, ask for username, password. I had to go validate my email address. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so done with this. And finally, it was all connected. I get to the home screen of the app, and then this big thing slides up and says, would you like to join Tile Pro or whatever their service is called? It's $100 a year. It includes insurance for the tile and insurance for whatever you attach it to up to $1,000. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
So it's an insurance plan. That's it.
Pretty much. And also had some pro features or something with the tile.
Does it send you replacement batteries for free? That's what I would have.
You could pay $100 a year for a replip battery that you can pick up at the drugstore.
Not just for that. I mean, also all the insurance.
Drew, give me $50 a year, and I will send you 2023 or whatever every month. Okay, you'll have a stock. It'll be great.
Big brain.
I would, knowing how much Apple likes their services model, I will not be shocked in the slightest if they announce something very similar to that.
AirTags Plus.
They just AirTags Plus, and you get a replacement. You get Apple Care on it, so if you lose an AirTag, they'll replace it. And also, when your battery runs out, we'll send you a new one, and you get one free battery a year or 2 free, depending on how many if you have 4 AirTags, you get.
Ooh, do they
4 free
automatically send it though? If they because they know how big it is. That'd be cool. If they automatically
they know when your battery's low.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting, but not. I wouldn't pay more than 99 cents a month for that service.
No,
maybe not even
AirTags
that.
Plus. Is AirTags Plus the service or the bigger version of AirTags?
That's AirTags Max XDR. That's the.
What would you do with a bigger AirTag?
You would put it on bigger items.
I want an HDR display on the AirTag that allows me to watch anything I want in great HDR quality with the
can I answer my phone calls on the AirTag? It has a speaker. Just put a microphone in it. And a screen so I can. Yeah,
I'm still looking for my phone, but I found my keys.
And also watch bands.
Also watch bands.
We'll give it a watch band attachment and a digital crown.
But it has to stay circular. It has to stay circular.
Oh, okay. So it's different.
So basically, it's just an Apple Watch replacement at this point. What I will give Tile is they do have a kind of a unique feature. There's this little button on the Tile where you can ping your phone from the tag. So if you can find your keys.
Did you get the Apple Watch accessory with the AirTag?
I did get the Apple Watch accessory with the AirTag, so I can do that. But
Apple's we have it already.
It would be kind of nice for those who don't have the Apple Watch accessory for the AirTag, if there was some kind of way to ping your phone from the AirTag. That's literally the only thing that Tile does better than Apple, and nothing else. Literally, that's the only thing.
I like that there's no button.
Really? Well, it could squeeze. Part of the squeezing process could activate that. Right? There's enough.
Apple's no, you're supposed to lose the AirTag. Your phone you keep. You're supposed to lose the AirTag. That's how this works.
Attached to your body.
Have you guys caught up much with the whole it's not designed to track people thing, and it will notify someone if they're carrying it with them and they don't know?
Only if they have an iPhone. So all your green bubble friends.
You can track them.
an Android user.
We're gonna start losing Android users because they're gonna get
they're just gonna disappear.
Kidnapped.
Murdered. Lose this. Apple's those are people we can afford to lose.
Are they really people? I don't know.
Well, see, so does that mean that if I let someone take my car, and take my keys and go drive to the store, they're going to get a thing that says, Nathan's AirTag is tracking you. Do you want this?
Yeah.
And they're going to be
I think so.
Yep.
Do you think that was the right call, or do you think they should have let it be a thing where if a criminal steals your belonging, you can find out where the criminal is? Because that's kind of the compromise here. Is on one hand, you can't throw an AirTag into someone's bag and find out where they live to stalk them. On the other hand, if someone steals your keys or steals your wallet with an AirTag in it, they will probably find out very quickly, and then they can remove the battery themselves. And
they probably don't want you to go after the people who steal your stuff.
It would be kind of nice to tell cops, though. Hey,
that's true.
They're
that's
at this
true.
address.
It's it feels a little on surface level like overkill all the stuff they did. It'll notify you and all this, but then it also, maybe they were just trying to get ahead of the issue. Because then what all of the YouTube videos been about, but you can just stick it on someone and then you're going to know exactly where they are, and safety,
like you can do that with an iPhone or an Apple Watch cellular. Just slap
SE.
it in someone's...
You get like a slap-on wrist thing and you like slap it on.
Yeah.
That's an accessory for
I'm gonna drag
AirTags.
someone down.
You put it on like your kids. You just go, and you never lose them.
Eat it. Swallow it. I'll never lose them.
No.
Oh, well.
Don't eat AirTags.
At least for
folks.
a year. Then they got to swallow another
Don't
AirTag.
eat AirTags.
They swallow just a battery. They hope it figures itself out.
I'm trying to think of everything else coming out this year, and I think AirTag is up there for me in terms of like smartest, best, because
but you're not going to keep it.
For the record, I'm not going to keep it just because I don't lose anything. Okay. And if I lose something, I'll buy one and be like, okay, I was wrong. But until then, but I feel like I'm not suggesting Apple should have made it rechargeable, because clearly most people want it to be replaceable. I'm just saying I'm in the minority, and I personally would have preferred that, but I'm glad they didn't cater to me, the minority, because what I want is not what most people want. So they did a great job, and the price point really surprised me. When I was reading about AirTags, I was really thinking they were going to be $50, $60, $70.
Yeah. Well, they kind of are.
When they were...
I mean, I paid $67, so
yeah.
Drew, you were 40-something. Like, they're not
with the optional accessories.
Yeah,
I could just drill
genius.
a hole.
That's the most genius move out of all of this. Like, the AirTags are $29, but you're not going to get out of the store for less than $45.
The only way I justify that, I'm like, to be fair, if I was going to put it in my backpack, I would probably just put it in a pocket. So I don't need something.
Well, okay, so here's the other really interesting selling point of AirTags, right? So OG AirPods, no one knew what they were. No one really, I was the first person in my city. I had a 9 a.m. delivery on day one of AirPods. I was the first person to go to work with AirPods in my ear. And I got weird looks for years, like a solid year and a half. People would be like, do the double take, like, where are the wires? Because they had no concept what the AirPods were. And then Christmas of 2017, I think, it was the most popular Christmas gift. And then everyone was wearing them after that, right? And I think AirTags are going to follow, maybe not as delayed of a trajectory as that, but I think AirTags are going to become so recognizable that you wouldn't want to stick your AirTag inside your bag. You would want it on the outside, so that if you ever lose your bag, the general public,
$29 purchase,
the general public will know that you can put the AirTag up to the phone and see who it is, right? It's kind of the idea of a luggage tag, right? You would put the luggage tag on the outside of the luggage, not on the inside of the luggage, because it says, hey, this is how to contact me. I think that AirTags, once the average Joe, A, knows what an AirTag looks like, and B, knows how to use it, I think most people will want it on the outside. Because I was talking to one of my friends, and we're going back and forth where he should stick all of his AirTags. And I was like, dude, put one inside of your bag. He got a 4-pack. I was like, put one inside of your backpack in like an indiscreet pocket, and then put the luggage tag one on the outside. Have 2 AirTags for a bag, because if someone steals it, they'll rip off the outside AirTag thinking that they got rid of all the AirTags, whereas there'll still be an AirTag following.
Apple's like 2 steps ahead of you. They're like, there are 2 AirTags following you.
No!
You take one off and it's like, not done yet.
I have a tracking question. So let's say everyone has their AirTags. They're all on their luggage, whatever, right? Everyone has it. Everyone goes on a plane. There's like 100 people get 100 notifications saying there's someone following you.
Oh, crap.
I think they did talk about that. Renee Ritchie did a interview with some of the vice presidents of AirTags.
Do they know when they're on a plane?
Yeah, and the lady did mention trains and planes, like is like public transit situations. So I think maybe it's geofenced to like know, hey, this is an airport, this is a train station. Expect a ton of random AirTags, but like I think that was my understanding of it. I'd imagine that when you're in a public place, for an extended period of time, it wouldn't beep.
It'll be like, we think you're on a plane, but there's also 60 AirTags following you right now. So
that's the notification.
Check that out.
That would be hilarious.
Someone is stalking you with 60
that.
AirTags.
I hope they thought of that, but it would be hilarious if they didn't, and everyone's on their phones getting pop-ups constantly throughout the whole flight. You're carrying AirTag. You're carrying AirTag. You're carrying. I know. Stop.
I'm trying to watch my movie.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I need to do a test. I need to send it with send my AirTag with someone and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's just get a briefcase like full of 100 AirTags and leave them on a bus or something.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see what happens.
That's like the new version of like terrorism. You just fill a bag full of AirTags and it just pings everyone's phones.
They can't use their phones anymore. Too many notifications. It's
way too many. There's going to be group notifications for AirTag. They stack up
60
on iOS.
most recent
Yeah,
first.
you've got 60. So
poor Android.
we've reached. I think we've done AirTags to death now.
We have?
Nathan, what do you think of the new iMac?
Okay.
All right. Here
So,
goes.
my initial opinion feels similar to the AirTags thing because I first saw it and I was like, oh, okay, it looks good. And then
Oh,
I
nice.
saw everyone else hate it. Okay. And I was like, oh, I guess everyone hates it.
Okay.
So
Not everyone.
my initial feeling without hearing what anyone else thought was like, oh, that looks cool. Let me pull up a picture.
So he didn't have.
I did
He had,
not
like,
have
the
it in first
inverse.
reaction.
Well, like most people hated it at first, and then it grew on them. But you liked it at first.
Why is everyone upset? Because the white bezels
In the chin.
I know why I am upset.
in the
but
chin.
to me, it's because the thinness from the side angle was prioritized above all else with this design. The front,
That's true.
the chin, the I/O, every aspect of the design was made so that it could look very thin from the side, which to me is not important, and yet was the top priority when they designed this one. So that's why I didn't care for it. But sounds like you like it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. Of course, if it was thicker and it didn't have the chin, like it'd be better. But does anyone who's gonna buy it care? They're anyone who's gonna buy it is gonna be like, "What's a chin? Like a chin? Like they have no idea."
I suppose
It's my opinion.
I feel like the average consumer doesn't get desktops anymore. I feel like everyday people would rather have a laptop anyway. And
Well, it's like the old people and like people, especially now, I feel like would probably be buying desktops more.
I don't know how to do the stats on it, but I know Grampy uses a MacBook, right?
He
Nick?
does use a MacBook. And
Why doesn't he use a desktop?
Because he used to go between his office and home a lot, and he liked to take his computer. But he no longer does that because, retirement, not the pandemic. Like I was thinking.
My grandmother used to have an iMac, and now she has a MacBook because she wanted to take it into the other room.
There you go.
And my grandma never had a desktop, but she has an iPad now.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
my friend
Your
Ross's
grandma's more
grandma
hip than
also
my
has an
grampy.
iPad.
Ooh.
Both my grampies are gone, unfortunately, so they're not using it either. But both my grandmas use iPads.
Nice.
And I feel like for the everyday folk, that there's a reason desktop sales have gone down like substantially. It's just because the versatility of taking something to the bedroom, to the living room, to the office, and take it with you
taking
is just
the iPad
makes
to
far
the
more
bedroom,
sense
Drew?
than. Yeah, you're gonna lay in bed, scroll around, relax.
You
Don't have
touch
to.
the screen.
Yeah, you can just prop it up, watch a movie in there. It's like there's so much more of a market for mobile devices now. Especially like I feel like it'd be a totally different discussion if they pitched this iMac as more of like a you can get better performance now if you upgrade to a desktop. This one compromises on no battery mobility, but now you got a rig that has more power. But this has the same chip, essentially, as the laptops, and it kind of loses that argument to me at this point, because if you're going like colors, it's for everyday people, then does the performance thing really make a difference? So that's why I was disappointed by it, and my main fear now is that the 32-inch iMac, or the bigger one coming later, is also going to have a big chin and basically look the same as my iMac Pro does, which I didn't want this design to carry around for another 10 years because I've been looking at it for 10 years now. And I'm like, I'm ready for something different. I want the iPad style single thin bezel all the way around. But I guess if Apple makes that jump, they won't have anywhere to go next. So they postpone it another decade.
What do you think about Apple feeling like they have to keep it like that, or else it would look like every other monitor? It's a dumb reason, but
I don't think, honestly, being in looking at a lot of third-party monitors, there's not that many that look like that. And to me, the chin is also very common in all-in-one desktops. Like, a lot of people were telling me the chin makes it an iMac, and I'm like, there's a million different desktops I've seen that have a thicker bottom bezel and a big chin at the bottom from HP and from Dell. They all kind of follow that same trend. To me, what made it look like an iMac was the logo. And I'm okay if we ditch the logo in favor of an iPad Pro style equal bezel, because I don't really see that many desktop all-in-ones that look like that, where just you have a thin bezel all the way around and it's all one compact device. To me, I don't see that many monitors that rival that design, and if they do, it's like, well, it's a desktop. You don't take it with you, so it's like other tablets look like the iPad too. They just have slightly different aspect ratios. So similar to the Pro Display XDR, I'm like, you can find an iconic, recognizable way to do it. I don't think keeping the chin for the sake of brand recognition is crucial, especially if you're not going to have the logo there. Just kind of looks like mouthless, to me. It's just a bit bizarre, but
it's wearing a mask, Drew.
I'm glad that people like it. I'm glad you like it, Nathan, because
I mean, if I wanted it, the design wouldn't be the thing holding me back.
Okay.
I don't think.
What would hold you back?
I don't want a desktop.
That's my point.
Well, see, the other thing is, like, if I wanted to get another monitor, it's gonna look different.
Yes, exactly.
I hate that. Even when you used to be able to buy the cinema display, first of all, it was $1,000. Second of all, it didn't even look like. I mean, it did, but not like the same.
Yeah, it doesn't have the chin.
You have to buy two iMacs.
I like the cinema display
and run them independently, because you can't make it an external display.
There's a Target Display one doesn't work anymore, but there is an app. A Mac app.
Duet display.
It's not. I don't know. Maybe it is Duet display. I don't know. But someone was talking about an app that you can use. I think it started with an L, that allows you to get that functionality. So I will be testing that out, because I did end up pre-ordering iMacs. And yes,
you got two of them?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Which color? Did you get two of the same color?
No, not the same color. Silver is the safe option. Right, I think silver is going to look timeless, and it's an iMac, so it couldn't really go wrong. And I've had a problem with Apple colors in the past. I got the red iPhone 12 mini because it looked red on the website, but dang, that thing was pink. That was on the dark pink spectrum. And nothing against pink. Pink is my third favorite color, but I just don't love it so much that I want it on my phone. So I was looking at all the colors, and the orange one is the one that I ended up going with because it caught my fancy.
Wow.
The back of the orange iMac looks like a space shuttle main engine tank orange. Like it looks very orange.
I'm pulling back up the website. What is this orange iMac that you bought?
I completely will admit, from the side and the back, the iMac looks gorgeous. I love the design from the back, and I love the colors from the back even.
Agreed.
I have nothing against color options. I don't love the pastel colors of the front just because I prefer saturated colors, but looking at the pink one from the back, I was like, that is a cool looking.
It's like almost red.
If you're buying this thing to put up at a reception desk at a business, just that customers walk in and look at, that looks great. The front would steer me away from buying it, though. I was leading up to the event. If people were watching my streams or listening to our podcast, that you'll know that I was somewhat interested in settling with a 24-inch display if this one had a good chip in it, had an M1X like Nathan was talking about, or or had a design that I liked from the front. That was crucial. But the side view of a desktop or the back view of a desktop, very little of importance to me. But still, yeah, the side and back look great, but the front looks essentially, it's not that different from current iMacs. They just kind of reverse colored a lot of the pre-existing colors. It's still a pretty sizable bezel. It's just white now, which I don't really care for. And the chin is still there, just without a logo, and it comes in different shades now. So I'm like, in reality, the design didn't change from the front much. It's just a color switch thing. Make this white, make this red, make this purple. So ultimately, I almost would have preferred it if they didn't change the iMac design at all and just slapped an M1 in there and said, there, have an M1 chip. This is your entry-level desktop for average consumers. Because I agree, everyday people probably aren't going to care, but in that case, everyday people probably wouldn't have minded the old design either. They would have gotten the $1,100 iMac that's 1080p because...
Is it better in any way, or is it just cheaper, the old one?
It's better in regards to ports, in my opinion, design, but that's highly subjective. Like, I prefer having black bezels, and I prefer having the logo on the chin. But yeah, it is slower. It's rocking a much older CPU, and the M1 is definitely by far much, much faster. The display on the new one is 4.5K, and the old iMac is 1080p. But if you're just talking like people who want a desktop for basic tasks at home, I would probably still say the Intel iMac is fine. Like, does Grandma need the M1 chip for her Zoom meetings?
Yes, Grandma does.
Yes, she does. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for people who like it because I want to be you. I wanted to look at this iMac.
I don't mind it. I don't like it. You know, of course, I would prefer the black and no chin. I don't mind it. Like, I don't hate it. If it worked for me, I would buy it. The design wouldn't stop me.
Have you checked out a Pro Display XDR?
I've probably seen one in an Apple store, but that's it.
Okay, because that's pretty much that design with an iMac inside it is my dream iMac. It's like great display. I don't care about the XDR stuff as long as it's
just like get an iMac, what is it called, a Mac Mini, and like adhere it to the back of the Pro Display.
That's not a terrible idea.
That's a good idea, Nathan. I should make note of that.
Are you good?
Write that down. I've been looking for a used Pro Display, but they're not much cheaper because I'm not willing to drop $5 or $6 grand on one. But if I could find a used one for like $3,000,
what if I told you I could save you $1,000 when buying a Pro Display XDR?
What if I told you I could get you 3% back on a Pro Display XDR?
I can too. Wait, how are you going to do this, Nick?
You just don't get the stand.
Oh, just
use the display on the table.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Prop it up.
I like
Someone
that.
had a picture of one with a clothes hanger that was just kind of mounted on the back.
That works too.
There's probably a jerry-rig way. I was saying 3,000 with the stand.
Oh, okay.
So,
right. Well,
basically,
you can make that
$2,000
if you sell the stand, to someone else who needs a stand, and then you can just use your $2,000 monitor on the table.
There you go. Yes, that works.
Drew's like, you didn't fix the problem.
I also, did you know about the external power adapter of the iMac?
Yeah.
That bugs me. I don't care for that as much, especially knowing the Mac Mini has an internal power adapter, but the iMac is like, no, we have to throw that out.
Does the Ethernet thing make any difference for you?
That makes all the difference to me. I would hate the fact that it has an external power supply, except for the fact that it has an Ethernet on it, which means I can network it
but
to
they
my
don't
other.
all have that.
I can network it now to my other Mac and get all the I/O from that Mac via networking to my iMac, and just have the iMac with the one power/Ethernet cord running out of the back, wireless keyboard and mouse, nothing else on my desk. I'm going to be getting rid of my speaker monitors because I will be using the ones in the iMac. My whole big monitor arm with the adjustable vase mount thing, like that's all going away. It's just going to be an iMac with a keyboard and mouse, and I'm so excited about it. All running off of an Ethernet port. I'm like, yee, it's going to be nice.
An Ethernet port powers the whole thing.
It's not gigabit though.
Like,
so it's going to be a little.
This type of market, I wouldn't be shocked if they just ditched the Ethernet entirely.
No.
I guess it's good they slapped that in there.
All of those networked iMacs in any school or computer lab or library, they're all using Ethernet.
That's true.
Like, it is so
true.
smart.
I was going to agree with you, Drew, but...
They're not buying these in bulk.
Yeah, they are.
Come with wireless
they're gonna
mice
be.
And keyboards.
Over the next, 5 years.
They're not.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna keep buying their Chromebooks and things that they can move around
for the movable ones, but they still have the desktops, computer.
Yeah, my
lab.
school has rooms of iMacs, iMac Pros. I'm like, what the hell?
Where do you go to school, Nathan? Whoa. Can I go there?
they're like that chin. Are you kidding me? It's still here.
I was gonna say the community college I went to had a lab full of Mac Pros.
Whoa.
So. I don't think they would settle for the base model iMacs. They're going to get something bigger, fancier.
Whoever's in charge of their tech is like, oh, we're not buying that. Are you kidding me? These colors,
white bezels.
That chin, white bezels.
We can't. I have heard people say that white bezels are bad for color editing, and
only if your room is not perfectly color accurate, which mine is. So I'm excited about the white bezels.
But. I think an SD card slot would have made a bigger difference than an Ethernet port, to be honest.
It would have been stuck out like this much. Only the very tip goes into the back because it's so thin.
Well, I agree with Randy when he said that if you're going to keep the headphone jack, there's no reason to ditch the SD card slot. If you're going to argue that has a use case, then I don't understand what removing SD card slot, just put that on the side. It's a desktop. If it's a laptop and you're just trying to shrink down on portability, it makes sense. But if you're not taking it with you and there's no battery, I don't understand. It's we couldn't fit that. It would look weird.
They added it to the power adapter for an additional $30.
Here's the thought. What if they put all of the I/O?
Hub.
What if they put all of the I/O on the hub, and the base model Mac doesn't have any ports on it, and then the next up level Mac that has the 4 ports now just has 2 regular USB ports, USB-C
full
ports
of holes.
Yeah,
it's full of all these ports. Okay, let me plug in my photos. Which is under desk. I don't know. I just don't like having a big at my desk. I like how there's just one single cord coming out the back of the iMac, and it's very thin and it goes right to the 110. If I switch to that iMac or potentially the next iMac that'll have an external power supply, that's just going to be this giant brick that sits on the floor. And why does it have to do that? Oh, because
your Ethernet cord will not have to run up to the back of your computer.
Exactly.
For network,
my router is 6 inches from my iMac.
Still got to do networking.
It probably has to reach further now to get to the. I'll have to keep the adapter up on the table to get my Starlink connection. Oh well. But
yeah, so I started out very anti iMac, but within a few hours I came around to it, and
then you bought
now you're getting
two of them.
I bought 2.
Do you plan to keep 2, or are you just trying it?
Probably keeping 1. I got the orange and the silver. I spec'd out the orange one the way I want it, and the silver one's just the base. But I think honestly either one would probably be fine. So if I really hate the orange one,
does the silver one come with
Ethernet?
Just 2 ports on the back, or Ethernet, or did you get the base model?
Yeah, it's the base one. So it wouldn't come with the Ethernet, but I'm sure that power supply would be flexible enough to switch around.
you gotta order the Ethernet.
It's fine.
$30.
If the orange is that much of a problem, then I guess I have bigger problems. But I'm kind of excited about this orange color because I know all the people on the internet who seem to hate the iMac design are the people who have their iMacs right up against the wall. And I am not that person. I have my desk in the middle of this room, and I have everything.
I've done that.
I see the back of this monitor, this ugly Philips monitor that's just ugly. I see the back of that every day, and I want it to be pretty. And I got wires hanging out all over the place, and I am the target demographic of the iMac.
More in the center so that I could see the back more. I still think the old iMac design looks great from behind. I didn't think there was anything really wrong with the curvature of it. I didn't think it looked bad. But buying a whole product based on the back look to me was just I couldn't get behind. I think I ordered one to review. I'm going to return it, but I'm pretty sure I'll just turn it away from me and have the back on my desk at all times just so I can look at the back and be like, wow, that's good.
Just put mirrors behind your desk and then you'll be able to appreciate it.
Wow, That looks cool. So yes, if someone missed it, because people keep asking me, I got the blue one mid-tier. So I got Touch ID and I got the 4 Type-C ports on the back, but still 256 gig, 8 gig of RAM, 100% not keeping it. I love how many people are convinced that I will suddenly change my mind about it as soon as I see it in person.
You're like, white bezels.
I love white bezels and shins. I don't know what I was thinking this whole time. Honestly, I think it probably looks better on the website than it does in person. Mm-hmm. I bet when you see that display off and it's black and white bezel and blue aluminum, that's when I'm going to vomit. Oh, well.
Just don't vomit.
Hopefully the next one's better.
Do you think the keyboard should work with the other iMacs that have M1 with the Touch ID?
I think they said it works with M1 Macs is what I heard.
I'm gonna put that to the test because I'm really excited about having Touch ID on a desktop keyboard.
I want to use it with the M1 iPad Pro.
Ooh.
Could you have Touch ID on an iPad now if you just paired it with a... Probably not, but it would be cool. I want that feature of just like... I've always wanted Touch ID on an external keyboard. It's just a shame they're not selling it separately. It's like, oh, you got to buy a whole new computer for that. Just get the new computer, sell the iMac, keep the keyboard. Mm-hmm. Pair that with
return the iMac, send back the old keyboard with it.
You're like,
hope
what?
they
That's
don't
what
notice.
That's the one you gave me.
That's why Nick bought 2. He can return one of them with the old keyboard.
Well, part of the decision of the color is also the keyboard, right? Because when you get this new iMac, the colors are matched. And out of all the keyboards, the orange one looks the best to me. Like, it's kind of close to like a rose gold, kind of yellowy, orangey rose gold. It's not super pink. Looks
I like it.
Kind of on the more orange spectrum. And that was the only one that didn't look gaudy to me. So, anyway.
Yeah. All the other, like the Magic Mouse with a blue underbody was odd to me.
Yeah. Just let us know how that looks.
I will. Anyway, well, appreciate you for making time for this, Nathan. Do you have any last questions or final thoughts before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I just hope that I get my M1X MacBook Pro 14-inch at WWDC. I want,
Cool.
Then I'll be
mini
happy.
LED important?
No, I don't know. I don't know what it does. I don't know what it
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Well, thanks for coming on. Thank you all for watching, and we will catch you next week with yet another co-star.
And if you are missing anything, get an AirTag.
Go look for it. Don't get it.
Bye.